Hey everybody, it's Narrative Tarot. I'm here with Saturn. I had to think about it. What is it? Saturn, August 2021. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. I do monthly readings by zodiac, not zodiac, by planet, not zodiac. I do book reviews, stuff like that. So if you're interested, just subscribe. Alright, I'm using Golden Tarot of Renaissance for Saturn, and let's get into it. The way the cards are coming out, it's like they're coming out together, or they're coming out or they're like a little bit stuck, refusing to come out. So you might have a little bit of stuck energy, Capricorn, because most people are looking at this because of Capricorn, not Saturn, that stuff. But you might have a little bit of stuck energy. You have the Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck. You have the Two of Cups, the Knight of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and then the Tower. So yeah, it might just be a little bit of stuck energy, and then I think with that Tower is like a little boop, like a pop and a release of energy. So yeah, the Eight of Swords under that Hanged Man. So it seems like there's maybe a bottle up of pressure or something like that for you guys. I would say steer clear of situations where you can't flow, or I think where there isn't a decision to be made. I think finality and things that are decided and things that are not being weighed out, things that have a very fixed decision already attached, where there's no input from you, may not be the best thing. So I would think this month you might want to try and see what autonomy that you have and things like that. I was reading this article about Beyonce and her creative expression, and how certain albums marked a departure. I think they said 4 marked a departure, or was the last album that had, I think, an influence that was outside of her own, a major influence that was outside of her own. And then the album after that marked departure, trying new things, working new things out, exploring, and being independent in one's own creative sphere. That's what it was kind of getting at. And kind of her own evolution as a person, right? Becoming a part of a girl group, leaving that, doing a solo career, and then having a solo career where you're very much under the control of the old guard, essentially the old way, and then it's then breaking away, and then starting and revamping yourself, and then going and growing and getting married and having kids and stuff like that, and then rebranding yourself after other life events happen as well, a reboot or a recharge. That's what it feels like in terms of you guys this month, that things that you aren't in control of, or at least have some say, at least some say in that, it's 40%, at least almost 50-50. You have to have input in it. If you don't have input in these things, it almost feels like there's a repression of sorts, and then it'll come out with the Tower, and it might come out destructively. So I would say just make sure that if you feel repressed or anything like that, that you speak your mind, and that you also fight and advocate for yourself to have a bigger voice. If you're working with something like contract and stuff like that, then you have to have it like written in, because you know, like writing just makes everything legit and shit. But have it in writing, the split, like the financial split, the production split, the cost, everything that makes up this project or whatever. If it's just you in general, start taking more autonomy over the things that you can buy or wear or whatever. Like, so Saturn's going through my 6th house. And what I can tell you guys, I mean, wherever Saturn is, it's kind of like a review, like, kind of like, what the fuck have you been doing since I, like, last been here? And then reorganizing, stuff like that. So my, what is it? My 6th house has Saturn in it currently. So Saturn's in Aquarius. My natal Saturn's in Pisces. But the 6th house is like health and stuff like that. I'm type 2 diabetic. I have PCOS. I have HS, which is like a skin thing. 2 of those things deal with like androgens, and then diabetes and PCOS deal with like insulin resistance. So it's like all these pile of things, but it's like, what have I done beforehand? And so it's because you're an adult, right? Like, I don't assume anybody watching this is somebody who's like 14 or something. If so, click off. But you have the right to say certain things about your life and where it's going, and you have the right to make certain decisions that put you ahead with what you see yourself, right? The relationships that you see yourself in, not the relationships that were set up for you. The career or opportunities that you want to go for, the money that you want to spend as far as like investments, stocks, whatever, the way that you want to save money, the way that you want to give money, the way that you want to be a charitable person in the world, like that stuff is up to you. And yes, it can come from a privileged place, because not everyone has access to like all this stuff. But at the end of the day, you have to get out of that mindset, because it's like, you know, if everyone takes this, I am like a sovereign being, or I have a say in my life, if multiple of you get together, right? Because it's not just you work by yourself. You do have to come together, but if everyone's operating well to where they're taking control of the things that they can take control of, by the time you meet it with other people, the goals that you have and the objectives you can achieve and think out, and the long-term planning that you can have, is quite significant on everyone else. We have the King of Swords and the Chariot. Like, you can think some things out. And so this is you guys, with Saturn being there, going up a rung on the Maslow hierarchy of needs. So like having the autonomy over like basic things like food, shelter, sleep, things like that. And if it means you have to get really structured, set an alarm and do certain things like that until you have a rhythm that allows you to move to the next stage and progress, and to actually create a road that you can look back on and see your achievements. Until you do that, just keep with this thing, because you're going to build up your confidence to have the autonomy to do stuff, right? So building up your confidence to move forward and making decisions helps. So Pluto is in Capricorn. So Pluto, well, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, so that Saturnian, Plutonian like energy is like there. So it's like really hard lessons about, I kind of feel like, about you and what you can do to move your life forward, but in a very profound way. Like, it's not just on a because these are dealing with generational things too. So not just you, but the people around you, and then reverberating. So I was watching something about in your womb, there's like about 3 generations or something like that, or listening to something. A podcast is about 3 generations worth of like DNA at a time or something like that. So think about that. Like when you work on your physical self or your just you in general, think about like the generational impact it has on people who are not here. Same for if you're just working out in the world, what that does for people, you know? So it's up to you to do that. So get into your King of Swords, Chariot energy, and get as sovereign as you can. So, you know, for me, it's working on this diet, child, because I don't want to go on insulin. The doctor said, you don't have insulin. No, let's reverse this. And I do think it's just like the PCOS side note, whatever, but I think it's more PCOS or whatever going on. But you have the autonomy, choosing what I want to eat, choosing where I want to buy my food, things like that. Like you don't have like too much of a choice of like the pesticide that they use or like the truck that they use to deliver it or stuff like that. But then you also kind of do, because you vote for this stuff. And again, it's collectively, right? So you work on yourself enough that you can be stable individual, but then you work with other people who've also done that work, and it can help you change society. But everybody has to pitch in, work on themselves, and that's really something that doesn't get erased no matter where you are in the world or your country's status or your social standing or whatever, because it's work to be done. It's work to be done. Nobody gets out of it, essentially. And you know, I think people have this idea that work to change the world has to be like grandiose, and like with the Leo moon, I'm like, it has to be a big statement and shit like that. The truth is, if you live somewhere where there's a bunch of like predators, you know, having an assault group that helps people deal with that, and then working with other people who get together and maybe start an app, or they talk to their local people about getting security or something like that stuff is helpful, and it helps, and that's your impact. Or even just speaking up and telling your story about it is impactful, and it helps. So lastly, we have the, what is this, Ace of Cups. So yeah, it's something that you got to be dedicated to. I think it's something that also will give you reprieve and offer some healing as well. So it's going to offer some healing, but it's putting in the work and healing yourself to get off the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Like the lower rung is like good shit, like, you know, it's great shit. So I say definitely go for it. Don't limit yourself. And yeah, so that's all I have for Saturn, August 2021. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.